Did the legend himself, Legend Rhony, get banned from Rise of Kingdoms? Stick around in this video as I break down what we know so far. What's up everybody, Psych out here with another Rise of Kingdoms video. And look, I don't really like to get too involved in these sort of scandal videos. For those of you who might not know what's going on, I will put a link to a video by Chisgall talking about some of the refund issues that have been going on. Refund abusers is sort of the term people have been using. And what's going on here is people are essentially buying gold chests, buying out the shop and then hitting refund. And what happens through some sort of glitch in the system is you get your money back. But in the meantime, all kinds of gold chests were passed through the alliance. You get to collect all these gold chests, all kinds of other things. Now they do take the things back that you bought as part of the refund deal, but it's been a big issue, and some governors have been abusing it, and those governors have been recently banned. Now, one of it that looks like might have been banned is Legend Rhony. Look, and I don't know for sure. I cannot say with 100% certainty, but Legend Rhony, who's one of the biggest content creators, and look, somebody whom I'm a big fan of. I really like his content. He's a great fighter. I mean, look at all these kill points. I mean, it's just a huge amount of kill points, including another 202 million that weren't even counted for kill points. I mean, this is a huge fighter on the field, somebody who makes a lot of great ROK content, but is currently, as far as I can tell, account might actually be banned. And how do we know this? How can I tell you this information? First of all, we know that a whole bunch of people from this kingdom, the kingdom that Legend Rhony is in, 2155, seems like they have been banned as well. And I will pull up the place that I'm getting this information from. And so I've got some pictures, some images here that I'm going to show you. And these come from some of my alliance mates and people who are connected to the Korean ROK Facebook page or some other pages that are about Korean ROK. And this is a translation of one of the things on Rise of Kingdoms, the Korean Rise of Kingdoms page. And it says here, we'd like to inform you about additional measures taken against refund abusers. We recently conducted a detailed investigation based on reports by various leaders through official, it says cafes, I'm not exactly sure what that means, customer centers. They've just conducted other detailed investigations into abuse of store refunds in all kingdoms. It's taken a long time, they said, and as a result of the investigation, it was confirmed that some leader characters, which I think means governors, had abused the refunds through the store, and the use of game content was restricted for those governors. So basically, everybody who bought these things and got all these rewards, got all of this stuff basically for free, and then they refunded it, has been penalized. And you've seen screenshots online of people with negative VIP, negative gems, things like that, tokens. And for people who received this incidentally, so that is, you weren't one of the refund abusers, but you sort of received gold chests, you received those kinds of things, they are getting negative things as well, but those accounts are not being banned. But it does seem like people who were actually abusing this have actually had their accounts quote unquote banned. They're not really banned. You can still log in, but you are culpable for paying back everything in the zone. That is, you have all these negatives on your account, and until your balance is paid, you can't come back. So it says when content use is restricted, basic operations such as dispatching troops and retrieving resources within the city are not allowed. So basically, you can't do anything until your access restriction is relieved. And presumably, the only way they would relieve that access restriction is if you actually paid off your account. So this is what seems to be happening. I want to jump to not that one. Let me go back here. And this is just the link, and I'll move myself out of the way here. This is the link that you can go to if you want to find out more information. This is where this information came from. Now let me jump back. Let Let me jump back into these other images. So I'll just show a few other images that sort of lead to the possibility that Legend Rhony's account has actually been not necessarily banned, but put on restricted access. So a couple of things you can do. This is from my alliance mates, and I want to thank my alliance mates Snow and Ken for gathering a whole bunch of this information. Some of it's in Korean, some of it's in languages I don't really know, and they've been helpful in telling me what's going on here. So here's what you can see is, actually at this website, Cafe, the website that I just put up there, you can find a list of all of the ID players, the player IDs, with a couple of digits removed. And those you can kind of see with asterisks. If I sort of zoom in here, you can see that there's asterisks on those accounts. So that's basically a player's ID number. And what people have done is they figured out who these players are. So for example, Freaky Cage here, who's in DD55, one of the, this kingdom that's had a lot of people involved. And if actually this screenshot is of all kinds of people from this kingdom, mostly this alliance, who sort of seem to have their accounts restricted. You can see that the ending number there is 3301. And if we zoom in really close to the ID, you can see it's 3301, right? So we're matching up the IDs with actual player cards. So we're figuring out, people are figuring out who these accounts are. So that's sort of how we are getting an idea of whose accounts have actually been put on this restricted access for suspected refund abuse. And I want to say suspected because, look, I'm not the jury here. I'm not the investigator. I'm just reporting what seems to be happening as far as we can tell. So it looks like that a whole bunch of accounts from 2155 have been put on restricted access for refund abuse. And it turns out one of those accounts has this number right here, 53**80. That is a 6-digit ID. And for those of you who don't know, most Rise of Kingdom IDs are 8 digits. Some pretty old players, some pretty long-time players in Rise of Kingdoms have 7 digits. And the really, really, really old players in the Rise of Kingdoms have 6 digits. Very few accounts have 6 digits. Most accounts today have 8 digits. And you can actually tell how old an account is by how high the digits are, particularly that first digit. I won't get into that here, but here's a 6-digit account, 53**80. And I want you to keep that in mind as we now look at Legend Rhony's governor ID, 530880. So maybe there's another 53**80 out there who also got their account banned. But boy, it seems like a lot of these are in 2155. And again, it's not banned, it's restricted access. It seems like a lot of these are out there, and I sort of spoiled this already, but people have already started commenting on some of Legend Rhony's videos about this. You can see a Korean player here who obviously can read the stuff in Korean has even made a comment as well. So look, I don't know. I don't know if Legend Rhony, for example, was abusing the refund system. I have no evidence of that. It's possible that he was just a victim of some other players abusing the refund system, and he happened to be in the alliance and he didn't realize that they were abusing it, and he got a whole bunch of stuff, and it looks like to Lilith that he was one of the abusers as well. I really don't know. I do know that Legend Rhony is a highly respected content creator. I do know that he's a highly respected fighter on the field, really an expert when it comes to battle. And so I think it would be really sad if we learned that he was involved in this refund abuse. So I hope that's not the case. I hope that his account is okay. I hope this is a mistake and that he will get his account unrestricted soon. But I still think this is pretty breaking news about what's going on, that these players who've been abusing the refund system are being punished, and their things are being taken away. Unfortunately, for anybody who lost in a KVK, for example, to 2155, are still suffering the consequences of that, right? They basically got cheated. And Chisgull has a video, and I'll try, if it's not the same one I've already put a card in for, or I won't put a card in, but I'll put a description down below. If it's not the same one, I'll put it in the other one, where he talks about the real victims of this scandal. The real victims of this cheating are actually the players like us, players who are playing legitimate, players who are playing fairly, whether you're spending or whether you're free to play. You are the ones who are losing out, because when you get beat by players like this, who are, players who are abusing this refund system, you are the ones who are really suffering the consequences. An unusual video for me, I know, but I wanted to bring you this information because it feels like it's a really big deal in the Rise of Kingdoms community. If you have any thoughts about this, about the refund scams, leave a comment down below. Thanks so much for coming by, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.